Now the second one is common. Now common again is available on both sides. As the name suggests, it has all common utilities available to the front end as well as the back end. So there will be again some differences. Some common utilities are available only in back end. Some common utilities are available only in front end, but most of them are actually available in both sides. Let's get inside common and we will see it has an exhaustive list of things. It is available in common. First thing first, it has window, and I'm referring to the one common which is available on the front end. Okay, the screen basically. So in screen, if I call api.common.window, that gives me a handle to the window object that is available in the UI, because we know UI is a browser UI. Window object will be available. So to get hold of that window object, I make a call to api.common.window. And then on window, you have a lot of things already available through the browser. Okay. So browsers, JavaScript, DOM, JavaScript APIs are available in the name of window. And then window also has a document. So if you want to refer to document, then you can say api.common.window.document, document in small letter. So you get handle to the window object, and then you can do pretty much anything and everything that you can do using a standard DOM API. The most common ones that you will use is alert, confirm, right? Prompt, those kind of things you use and you have been using, but it gives you access to everything, as I said, like, and you can do, uh, it, you can get hold of any specific element or do DOM manipulation, setting styles. So anything that you traditionally do using JavaScript DOM APIs, you can do it using this window object that is available through common api.common.window. Note the difference in case. So here it is available as a W capital window, not small letter window. Okay. Internally, it may be mapped to the small letter window, but when you are using this in the code, you'll have to write api.common.window. API in all full capital letters. Common starts with the capital letter C. Window starts with a capital letter W. Okay. Now, profiler, not very important. Router is something that you can use. Get into the router part. It's here only. So router gives you some quick functions that you can use, and those functions out and get edit route. These are the couple of APIs that I use, that you will see references of these in several places. For example, if I have to find the view route or edit route for a particular entity, and that I want to set for redirection. So for example, I'm clicking on an edit button, and then that edit button shall take me to a particular entity's edit. So how to get that URL prepared? You recognize that the URLs are following a pattern. So following that pattern, a URI or URL will be built and will be returned to you. So that is a convenience function from the router. So api.common.router.getViewRoute, router means R capital, getViewRoute will give you the view route or view path of a given entity. Now, entity has to be an object, and you know what entity means. Entity is a JavaScript object with minimum 3 attributes: underscore ID, app underscore ID, and category. These 3 are mandatory fields for something to become an entity, and those attributes will be used here to build the path. Okay. The path will be something like slash app ID slash get category slash action, and in this case it will be for view. If you're looking for view, it will be view. If you're looking for edit, it will be edit. And then finally at the end it will add the ID underscore ID. So that is how the URLs are prepared. Okay, let's come back to common. Styles. Now styles, again, very rarely used. Type. Now content type has some constants that you can use. For example, JSON, form, multipart. Now use these. Most of the time you will use it when you have to say create a particular data packet for a remote call. Now for remote call, there are ready-made functions. There is a API for that. But at certain point of time, if you want to use content type, you can. Most of the time, you will not need it. Then it has some language related keywords to be supported. Again, this has been used in one of the places. It is used in one of the component that actually shows you option to switch from one language to another. So App Manager is a special app which is basically maintaining the definitions of the application. As you know, there are 3 to 4 primary applications in the platform. One is Uno Portal, second is Uno Apps, and third is Uno Platform. Or App Manager is where you define the applications and manage their life cycle. You can activate, deactivate, set up, backup schedule, indicate what will be the database. If you are not using the default database, you can specify a path to a secondary database. You can that way you can migrate your content from one database to another database. All that is done in App Manager. So if you want to have a ID of that, you can get it. But most of the time, we know it is hard coded, so we hardly use this long path. We simply hard code it to Uno underscore apps. App settings, we can set some links, set some meta tags, set some icon. So for the whole app, if I want to dynamically set a few things like links and meta tags and icons, theme color, all these things, this will be used when you are writing a new application and then you want to make it ready for search engine optimization. So these quick functions will help you modify the global settings of your application. And most of the things will be put up in your head or head tag of the HTML, and then that will make your application more SEO ready. LS session, rarely to be used, session validity period, small screen. Now, small screen is something that will be, that's a hard constant. You will rarely use it directly. What you will use it is a check if your screen is small right now or not. So it is about identifying if your client is accessing the application on a small screen or a larger screen. With the small screen to large screen, you can decide on different layouts, different styling. So this is a convenience method. The limits for small screen is the width has to be lesser than 900 pixel and height should also be lesser than 900 pixel. So you have some things related to internationalization, not in use right now. Now, this could be useful. So platform deals with a lot of predefined categories, or what we call is system defined categories. What is category? It's a data type. You are free to define your own business specific data types. And when you create application, you basically define categories, and then each category will have a unique ID, then properties, and many other things like action screens and some other configurations, but you sometimes require access to the default categories or system defined categories. So some of those, if you are not sure about their unique IDs, you can access them through these nomenclature. Just to avoid writing hard-coded values, you can refer to api.common.category_id dot some of these names. For example, similarly, some more constants about schedule and some event-related constants. Now, these constants are useful occasionally. For example, these events will be triggered by the system in certain occasions. Now, if you want to respond to these, you can basically uh, register event handlers for these event IDs. For example, if you want to respond to an event when a show dialog is called. Now, how do we call show dialog right now? We say api.common.show dialog. That function is called, but internally it will trigger an event called show dialog, show underscore dialog. So if you want to respond to that, in addition to whatever is already responding to, you can have an event handler with this uh, event ID, and you will get the information for that. Similarly, for hide dialog, so these events will not be executed ever in the front end. Then few more things. App switched. App switched is something that we use in front end. Route changed is also something that we use. Change event requested. So route change when is initiated, then route change requested will be called. And then at the end, when change has already happened, then route changed will be emitted. Remember, case sensitiveness, these are constant. Some are in lowercase, some are in uppercase. So you have to keep them in your mind. Some has underscore, some has minus. So remember these. When you are defining event handlers, you have to put the value as exactly as it is written here. Then entity prop changed. So when you are on a edit screen and a properties value is being changed, then this entity prop changed event is called. When your focus shifts from one input box to another input box, then set focus function is called. When a user signs up, signing up in an application, signed up function, a signed up event is called or emitted. When a user signs in, does the login, signed in will be emitted. When a user logs out, signed out will be emitted. When a trigger, so that is after the sign out has been done, and this is when a sign out is requested. So if you just want to cancel the sign out, you can respond to sign out requested, or if you want to respond to the happened event, sign out is already happened and you want to respond. Say for example, what we are doing today, if sign out has happened, bring the user to the home page, right? Or refresh the home page content. So we commonly do that, signed out. Now, similar to that are session created and session cleared. Now, sign out, sign in doesn't immediately clears the user session. So once a sign in happens, then the next step will be that user session is created. Similarly, when sign out is happening, when sign out is done, then user session will be cleared. So there is a sequence. Now you can decide on exact thing when you will want to respond. So unless user session is cleared, you will have something in session. Content scrolled. Now when you are basically scrolling on the screen, and if your content is moving and scroll bar became active, then content scrolled event will be fired. Some printability, these events are triggered, not used quite often. App language change, now not in use. And then some stages of the event. So stays will have, say, created or requested. When a particular activity is done, it may have sub-stages or sub-parts of the event or the parts of that activity. So activities, for example, create user session is the activity. So you requested for creation of user session, then it was progressing, then it was completed, or it had failed. So 4 sub-stages of each of them can be generated. These are like um, suffixes of a particular event. So how does that event actually gets created? If you say event is this and stage is one of these, then final event string will be event minus stage, event ID minus stage ID. So that is how the whole event is getting created. Okay, so this is how we get action stage. So action is this and stage is this. So it will basically put a minus between these two IDs and get you the action stage complete event ID.